Hello and welcome to LEZ'S Lounge, where everything and anything is talked about because we are a lounge. I am your host Leslie, and today we're talking about 3 stories of entitled people, one involving looks, the other involving a different culture, and another involving a woman who thinks she could get more than what she paid for. So let's get to it. EP wants my friend and I to leave clothing store because of her breast size. Little backstory. My friend and I are extremely close and always go shopping when we can. She likes to go shopping with me because I tend not to judge her for her breast size, as she's extremely embarrassed by them. Now, to the story. So it was after finals at school. Everyone else had plans but me and her. So we went to our town center by our school to eat lunch and shop because teenage boredom. We went to the normal kind of clothes shops like H&M, Dillard's, Macy's, etc. and looked and tried out clothes we picked out for each other. We were walking around and she saw something she liked in some clothing store we've never been to. Some sort of hairband or clothes. So we went in and started looking at stuff. That's when she noticed the bra section and started looking through it, seeing if she could find something that fits, since the bras she usually wore were expensive and bought online. While we were looking around, a girl and her mom walked in. Nothing special about them, so we paid them no mind. We kept looking around when the mother tapped me on the shoulder. EM. Excuse me, is that your girlfriend? OP. No, we're just really good friends. Is there something wrong? EM. Well, you see, she gestures to her daughter. She's making my daughter feel self-conscious. OP. Oh, did we say something inappropriate? I'm so sorry if we did. We'll make sure to watch what we're saying. EM. No, nothing like that. It's just that she holds out her hands in front of her boobs like she has bigger ones. She's so big here, and it's making her think she needs a boob job like her. OP. Excuse me? At this point, I'm already getting mad because she assumed she got a boob job at age 17. But I let it slide since people do sometimes get the wrong impression. EM. I was just wondering if you guys could leave so my daughter could shop in peace. OP. Hold on. You want me and my friend to leave because my friend's breasts are big? Are you serious? EM. It's not that big of a deal. This store isn't meant for people like her anyway. She needs to go and shop at Hot Topic or something. Now, I'm basically about to lose my mind. I can handle one misjudged insult, but when you insult her entire person, that's when I get angry. Add into it the fact that I'm tired from finals and college applications and such. OP. As far as we're concerned, this place is open to the public and we're allowed to shop here if we please. If your daughter can't deal with looking at my friend's figure, you need to reassure her that she's beautiful in her own way and not to worry about stuff like that. Not basically back her up that she should be self-conscious about her boobs. EM. How dare you raise your voice in adult? Would you talk to your mother like that? You should listen to what the adults are telling you and not talk back. At this point, we're starting to cause a ruckus in the store, and my friend is tugging on my jacket to try to get me to stop because the daughter got the manager. Manager. Is there a problem here? EM. Yes. This slut, referring to my friend, is making my daughter feel self-conscious about her body and refuses to leave. Manager. Ma'am, anyone is allowed to shop in our store, but now you two aren't. I was surprised at how quickly the manager kicked them out, but I wasn't complaining. She was escorted out, calling me and my friend insults with her daughter not saying a word. The manager then apologized and told us to take our time. My friend then gave me a hug and thanked me for standing up for her. So we finished shopping there and went on to the next stop, Hot Topic. Classmates' parents refused to give me any food because I had apparently sinned. I was probably 5, and I wasn't very proficient with English since I had just immigrated from China and knew very little about the language when this happened. A schoolmate's parents invited me over to have dinner while my parents were out. There are a couple things you should know from back then. 1. This was a very religious family, while my parents were atheist/agnostic at the time. 2. The kid and I did not like each other. We sat down to dinner, and as soon as everyone was seated, I took a bite like we did at home. That was when the mother reached across the table and yanked the plate away from me. "In this house," she said, glaring at me, "we pray before we eat. We are not heathens." I looked at my classmate to see what to do. I put my hands together like he did. "Not like that," she screeched. Apparently I needed to fold my hands properly. I did as I was told. The dad then proceeded to give what had to be the longest prayer ever. It probably wasn't long at all, but I was 5 and hungry, didn't really understand what was happening, and had never heard a prayer before. After he finished, the mom looked at me and said, "For stealing from God, you will wait until after we finish before you eat." She then lectured me on how awful I was and how I was going to hell for not praying properly or knowing about prayer. I started crying because, hungry 5-year-old. She was screaming at me to stop crying. I was ruining dinner for everyone. Mind her, I was 5 years old. My classmate said he wanted seconds when he was done with his plate. She handed him my plate. I didn't get dinner. This was when my mother rang the doorbell, and at the time she could speak English fairly well, albeit with some mistakes, so she could understand most of what the family was saying. I jumped up and ran to her in tears. Suddenly, the family was all smiles and politeness. She told my mom I was picky so I wouldn't eat my food, so I was probably hungry. We got out to the car and my mother asked what really happened. I was not a picky eater. I'd eat anything, still will. I told her everything. My mother stormed out of the car, pounded on the door, and gave the woman a piece of her mind. To this day, I wonder what sect of Christianity they claim to be. Because even though I'm not Christian, I've known many for years, and I'm pretty sure God never said to treat someone else's kids like crap before. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, I deserve a luxury rental car. While my car is in your shop or your services, I will drop. A couple of years ago, I had started working in the front office of a collision repair center. Let's call it Fix-A-Queen. The shop specialized in fixing damaged cars from auto accidents, but sometimes had to take on mechanical repair work as well. We had, at that time, 2 mechanics with about 50 years of combined experience and certifications, 4 or 5 painters, 3 detail guys to wash and vacuum cars, and 8 repair technicians. My job was to estimate the damage, submit our estimated cost to the customer or insurance company, whoever was paying, and secure payment for the estimate. This took place in January or February after a recent snowfall. The customer, I'll call her Emma, came in with 2 small children, probably no older than 6 to 7 years old. Her accident hadn't injured the children, but her Audi SUV had slid on a patch of ice and struck a guardrail, damaging the back quarter panel and both doors. As part of the customer process, I introduced myself and sat down to discuss a few things with her. I basically knew she was going to be trouble when her first remark was, "Oh, you're the guy I'm supposed to talk to. I thought I'd have someone different." I let the implications of that statement go, laughed it off, and explained the repair process. I asked her if she was having her car repaired at our shop, and she said she had questions. Did we use Audi parts? Yes. We had to deal with a local Audi dealership and use their parts store for Audi and several other high-end vehicles. How long would repairs take? Less than 2 weeks. Everything needed to be replaced, then repainted to match. We would check all the doors and sensors and even test drive her car before calling her to state that it was fixed. Were the repairs guaranteed? Yes, for as long as she owned her car. We would guarantee any paint and parts put on her car. We would also provide invoices from the Audi parts store. Did we have a rental car available? No, the rental was handled by her insurance company. Now, Fix-A-Queen had a partnership with her insurance company, so the insurance had already sent her a rental car company that came to pick her up. I presented Emma with a contract/power of attorney that reiterated what I had just said verbally, advised that she pick up any belongings, and in 11-point font stated that any work done would have to be paid for before her vehicle could leave the shop. We didn't use small print for our contracts because corporate said so. I told Emma that she would owe a $500 deductible, according to her insurance company, when she came to pick it up. Emma signed and I made a copy of her driver's license. Emma went outside with the rental car company agent. Let's call her Mystique. I filed her paperwork and returned to the lobby area to find Mystique and Emma standing there, both frustrated. Emma was mad that the rental car being given to her was a Chevy Impala and not an Audi. Mystique, do you all have an Audi or similar vehicle you can rent out to her? Me, no, we don't do rentals. We fix damaged cars. We don't rent them out. Emma sucked her teeth. That's very rude of you to say. My insurance company said they would have another car like mine here for pickup, and I want another car like mine. I have 2 small children and I need to keep them safe. I explained again to Emma that we could not do this, and she huffed and sat down to call her insurance company. Mystique sat down to play on her phone. I guess I should explain that Fix-It Queen had a lobby area and that they were sitting on the sofas in the lobby, with Emma's 2 children playing around them. Emma talked very loudly to her insurance agent, and to escape the noise, I went to do my job. I went to Emma's Audi SUV, drove it into the shop, and assigned it to a technician. When I returned to my office, Emma was still on the phone yelling about the substandard rental car. My boss came to the door of my office and asked what was going on, so I explained and told him I was taking care of it. I continued to ignore Emma's ranting on the phone and threats to drop her insurance company so I could call the Audi dealership to order parts. My contact there verified part prices and guaranteed delivery by the end of the workday. I sent the order to her insurance company to have payment transferred to us and went to tell Emma the good news. After a few more minutes, Emma got off the phone. She had been in the lobby for a little over an hour. I asked how things had gone with her insurance. Emma basically stated that she was going to take her car and leave and would drop her insurance as no one was helpful. I asked Emma to hold on and went into the shop to find her car. Auto repair technicians usually work quickly because the more cars they work on, the more they can get paid. I found Emma's Audi SUV with both doors removed, the rear bumper loosened, and the tech was working to remove the right tail lamp. All of these steps were necessary to replace her damaged doors and quarter panel. I returned inside and told Emma what had happened. She shrieked at me. Shrieked and grabbed her hair because we had already started working on her car. She accused us of working on her car without permission, threatened to sue us, and called me an idiot. I went to the office, made a quick copy of her signed contract, and brought it to Emma. I told her that she had given us legally binding permission to work on her car and that we had begun work per that agreement. I also told her that in accord with our work authorization, if she chose to remove her car, she would first have to pay the fees for the work already done. We would stop work until we could verify how we could receive payment. I also told her that Mystique would be able to advise the rental car company's fees on upgrading her rental. Over the next 3 days, Emma called several times. Her insurance called several times, and other collision repair shops called several times. Everyone wanted to know how repairs were going, what was going on, etc. My answers were always the same. Emma owed a $200 bill for the labor involved in starting the repairs and canceling the parts order, and after the first 24 hours, we were charging $25 a day in storage. We would not do any further work until we were paid for what has been done. By the end of the week, Emma came in personally, talked to my boss, and agreed to repairs that she was paying out of pocket for an Audi rental for her children. Her car was fixed by the end of the following week, but I think her insurance ended up dropping her because we charged them for storage fees in accordance with our contract. Entitled people will never understand that whatever retribution or punishment they seek to put on others ends up coming back on them, or that their reputation will be completely ruined, especially when they do something against a child, or whatever they do ends up costing them a lot more in the long run. I don't know if it's ingrained in them, but one day they need to wake up. I hope you enjoyed today's stories, and we'll talk later.